The pathetic cowards of the galaxy hid and trembled in fear, but humanity was the only species who had the balls to stand up and fight. "Another round, Juno?" the bartender asked, tendrils reaching for the Eliani's empty glass. Juno nodded curtly. His hands still shook when he thought about that day, the day the Corver attacked Theron 5 and slaughtered thousands. "I heard you were there," Zar said, young eyes wide, "when it happened." Juno tossed back his drink and slammed the glass down. The burn helped dull the memories, somewhat. "I was." Juno stared at the bar top, seeing smoking ruins and rivers of blood. Corver ships tore through our defenses. Alarms blared. Soldiers screamed. We sent distress calls, but no one came. The Galactic Council argued about trade routes, while the Corver bombed our colony to dust. Zar leaned in. "What happened? How'd you get out alive?" A ghost of a smile lifted Juno's lips. "They showed up, those crazy beautiful humans. Everyone else was too scared to help. We thought we were dead. But then—" He shook his head, wonderment coloring his expression even now. 100 human ships dropped out of warp, guns blazing, tore into the Corver like demons, didn't hesitate, didn't flinch. They saved our asses. Juno clenched his fist on the bar top. The Corver are brutalizing a dozen worlds, enslaving populations, killing millions, and the whole galaxy is too chicken shit to stop them. He lifted his eyes to Zar's. "But not the humans. Those magnificent bastards are still out there somewhere, fighting." Juno's gaze hardened. "And if humanity falls to the Corver, you can bet your ass the rest of us are next." Zar leans forward, his interest piqued. "The humans? I thought they were just a myth, a story to scare hatchlings." Juno chuckles darkly. "Oh, they're real all right, and they're nothing like the stories." He takes another sip of his drink before continuing. A single human ship dropped out of hyperspace, right in the middle of the battle. It was a small thing, barely a frigate, and it looked like it had seen better days. The Corver ignored it at first, probably thinking it was just a lost freighter. Juno's eyes take on a faraway look as he remembers. But then the human ship opened fire, and by the stars, I've never seen anything like it. Their weapons cut through the Corver shields like they weren't even there, and their aim was impossibly accurate. They took out the Corver's main cannon with their first volley. Zar's jaw drops. A single human ship took on the entire Corver fleet. That's impossible. Juno shakes his head. Impossible for us, maybe, but not for them. They broadcast a message on all frequencies, telling the Corver to stand down or be destroyed. The Corver captain just laughed and ordered his ships to focus fire on the human vessel. Juno pauses, his scales rippling with emotion. That was a mistake, the human ship. It was like nothing we'd ever seen. It danced around the Corver fleet, avoiding their shots while landing devastating blows of its own. The Corver tried everything, missiles, boarding parties, even ramming the damn thing. But nothing could stop that human ship. Zar is leaning so far forward now he's practically falling off his stool. What happened next? Did the humans destroy the whole Corver fleet? Juno takes a long pull from his drink, savoring the memory. No, they didn't have to. After the human ship crippled the Corver flagship, the rest of the fleet turned tail and ran. I've never seen the Corver retreat before. Never thought I would. But the humans, they put the fear of the gods into those bastards. He sets his glass down with a decisive thunk. The Corver haven't been back to Theron 5 since. I think they finally realized they're not the biggest fish in the pond anymore. There's a new apex predator in town, and its name is humanity. Juno's hands shake as he grips his glass. The memories still raw. But then the human ship did something that defied belief. It flew straight into the heart of the explosion, absorbing the brunt of the shockwave. Their shields flared and stuttered, but somehow held. And then, as if that wasn't enough, they extended their own shields around our crippled ships, protecting us from the worst of the blast. Zar's eyes are wide, his mouth agape. They sacrificed their own ship to save you? Why would they do that? A wry smile tugs at Juno's lips. That's just how humans are, kid. They don't leave anyone behind, not even strangers. With their shields covering us, they towed our ships out of the danger zone, even as the Corver regrouped for another attack. Did the humans fight them off again? Zar asks, leaning forward eagerly. Juno nods. They did more than that. Once we were clear, they turned back to face the Corver alone. Their ship was battered, their shields barely holding, but they didn't hesitate. They sent out another broadcast, telling the Corver to retreat or face annihilation. And the Corver actually listened? Zar sounds incredulous. They didn't have a choice. The humans, they have a reputation, you see. The Corver knew that even a damaged human ship was more than a match for them, so they tucked their tails between their legs and ran, leaving us alone with our saviors. Juno falls silent, lost in thought. Zar waits, sensing there's more to the story. Zar stares at Juno, mouth agape. The human ship expanded? Engulfed the whole mining colony? How is that even possible? Juno shakes his head in wonder. I'm no expert in human technology, kid. All I know is what I saw, that shimmering field. It was like nothing I've ever witnessed. Our scans couldn't make sense of it. It defied everything we thought we knew about physics. He takes another swig, his eyes unfocused as he relives the memory. When that field touched the colony, everything just went still. The explosions, the debris, it all froze in place, like time itself had stopped. But we could still move, still breathe. It was surreal. Juno's voice drops to a reverent whisper, and then the portals opened, and the humans, they just appeared among us, striding out confidently in their strange armor, carrying crates of supplies like it was just another day for them. They set up triage centers, passed out food and water. They even had translators to calm people down, reassure them that everything would be all right. He meets Zar's astonished gaze. In the span of a few minutes, they had the whole situation under control. It was like they'd done this 1,000 times before, like saving entire colonies from certain destruction was just routine for them. Juno leans forward, his expression intense. The Corver, the Galactic Council, they all underestimated the humans, thought they were just another primitive species to be ignored or conquered. But the humans, they're something else entirely, something special. His voice is filled with a fierce sort of pride. They could have just flown away, you know, left us to our fate. They had no stake in that fight, no reason to risk their lives for us. But they didn't hesitate, not for a second, because that's just who they are. They're the kind of people who run towards the danger, who stand up for what's right no matter the cost. And that's why they're the galaxy's best hope against the Corver. Juno sits back, his eyes shining with a newfound respect. The humans saved more than just my life that day, Zar. They saved my faith. Faith that there's still good in this universe, that there are still those who will fight for what matters. And as long as the humans are out there, I believe we have a chance to push back the darkness, to make things right. He raises his glass, a solemn toast. To the humans, may their courage never falter and their compassion never wane, and may the rest of us learn to be half as brave as they are. Zar raises his own glass, his voice filled with awe. To the humans, he echoes, the words a promise and a prayer all at once. In that moment, the future seems a little less dark, a little less hopeless, because out there, somewhere, a band of heroes fights on. A species called humanity, who stand as a beacon of hope in a galaxy that desperately needs it. Zar leans back, his mind reeling from the implications of Juno's story. He stares into his drink, trying to process everything he's just heard. The humans, the saviors of Theron 5, the heroes who stood against the Corver when no one else would, just gone, vanished without a trace. So what happened to them? Zar asks, his voice barely above a whisper. Where are they now? Juno's expression darkens, the lines on his face seeming to deepen. He picks up his glass and drains the remaining liquid in one swift gulp, as if steeling himself for what he's about to say. That's the thing, Zar, Juno says, setting the glass down with a heavy thud. No one knows. After they saved us, after they ensured we were safe and had the supplies we needed, the humans just disappeared. Their ship, that incredible vessel that had done the impossible, it just vanished into hyperspace, and we never saw them again. Juno sighs, his shoulders slumping as if under a great weight. His eyes stare off into the distance, seeing something Tsar cannot. There are rumors, of course, there always are. Some say the humans went back to their own space, that they had their own problems to deal with, that perhaps saving us was just a detour in their own grand journey. Juno's tendrils twist and curl, betraying his agitation. Others think they're still out there somewhere, watching from the shadows, ready to step in if the galaxy needs them again, like guardian angels or something out of a children's story. He leans forward, his eyes suddenly intense, boring into Tsar's. But there are darker whispers too, rumors that the humans, that they had made enemies, powerful ones, and that by saving us, by standing against the Corva, they put themselves in their crosshairs. Juno's voice drops, becoming heavy with emotion. Some say that they sacrificed themselves to protect us, that they drew the attention of something even worse than the Corva, and paid the ultimate price to keep us safe. He shakes his head, his expression a mix of awe and grief. I don't know what to believe, none of us do. All I know is that we owe the humans everything, and we'll never be able to repay that debt. They saved us, not just from the Corva, but from our own fear. They showed us that there is still good in this universe, still those willing to fight for what's right. Juno stands, tossing a few credits on the table. He looks down at Tsar, his gaze fierce. So, if you ever hear someone say that the humans are just a myth, you set them straight. Because they're real, Tsar, they're real, and they're the best damn thing that ever happened to this galaxy. And we will never forget what they did for us. With that, Juno turns and walks away, his footsteps heavy on the cantina floor. Tsar watches him go, a lump forming in his throat. He looks down at his drink, seeing his own reflection staring back at him. The galaxy suddenly feels a lot bigger, a lot darker, but also somehow a little brighter, because somewhere out there, the humans are real, and whether they're lost to the stars or still watching over them all, their legacy lives on. Tsar lifts his glass in a silent toast to the heroes he's never met but will never forget. You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.